Hi, I'm Joe Chili. Mornings from 7 to 9 with Buffalo's classic oldies from the 60s and 70s on the Big Wack. Joining us on the Big Wack's Buffalo on the Rise today is Abdul Khalid. Abdul Khalid, I said that correct, right?
Correct.
Okay. Abdul, welcome. You're the general manager of Clay Handi. It's a restaurant, correct?
Exactly.
Pakastani
Totally.
food.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not that familiar, but I'm very interested.
Okay.
You know, I like my food kind of spicy. Is that, yeah? So
Yes.
you'll have something that I like, right?
Of course. Yeah.
Absolutely. All right, we want to talk about this. And is some of the way you prepare foods, is some of it old school? Is it, you know, are you using a lot of new technology? What are your basics and what do you use?
So the basics we call traditional or heritage cooking. That's
Okay.
our basics. Modernized with the use of technology and current sustainability practices to develop and prepare fresh food. So when we say what we really sell as a unique selling point, it's traditional cooking in a sustainable way.
All right, well, when I looked, I was paging through. I was stalking your website,
Thank
if you will.
you.
And I see that you cook in clay pots?
Clay pots.
Clay pots. Okay, describe this to me. I mean, I understand, and let me take this back. As I was growing up, everything was like, you know, you get Teflon, right? You know,
Yes,
Teflon, you know,
exactly.
frying pans or whatever. And then they were kind of like, well, we don't know if that's so good for you, or what if it chips off, or whatever the case may be. Sometimes it seems like the older methods, the more traditional methods, are better and healthier. So would you describe clay pots as being healthier?
Of course, yes. So the reason we kind of do the clay pot cooking, one thing is all of our clay pots are handmade specifically for the dishes we make in them. So every dish has kind of a clay pot that is used to make that specific dish. It's not one clay pot used to cook all the dishes. Like we have closed, narrow top for some of the steam dishes, and then we have the fry kind of dishes which use a kind of an open top. So every clay pot is handmade specifically for the type of cuisine we serve and the type of dishes we make. Now the reason why we say clay pot cooking is healthier or sustainable, one thing, clay pot cooking has been in parts of the world been used for centuries and centuries and centuries. We took the same approach and the same clay pot cooking concept from maybe 1,000 years ago and kind of used it in the new technology that we currently serve in the restaurants. So it's the same practice, same clay pot, and even one thing that you might find interesting is the clay itself is different from the normal clay or sand that you find. So the cooking clay pot that we make, handmade, the clay is different, which is specific for the type of cooking.
Now you're saying you're using the same clay pots for the same dish that you're making all the time.
Yes.
Do they get seasoned?
Exactly. That's the core of cooking in clay pot. So the clay itself, it retains some type of flavor. The more you cook in the same clay pot, the more your dish gets the flavor. And when you steam it in, you get kind of like a traditional sandy, a little bit of sandy flavor, as well as the seasoning and all the aroma of the cooking, which has been done in that clay pot for many, many times.
Do they last longer than regular, utensils or things? Yeah.
Usually they last very long, but they tend to break. So our restaurants, we import and handmade a lot of clay pots to be able to handle that mortality rate. Like our pots break at 5, 10, 20, 30 a day. So we always restock them. But the cooking part, we make sure we have enough clay pots that we can cook again and again. At the same time, if we need to, we replace them. So the better taste of a dish is best carried out if we use the old clay pot, which has been used multiple times, but cleaned, of course.
You're making me hungry, by saying this. All right, we only have a couple of minutes left. So can you tell us about some of the renovations that you're doing?
So we've been in business for about 12 years. We've been doing very good. So now it was the time of, as we say, do a fusion between the traditional way of cooking, which is our clay pot cooking, and modernize it by the use of technology. That is what we are doing right now at our location at Delaware Avenue in Kenmore, New York. We demolished the old building, which has been running for a while, and then now we are erecting a new building with something called immersive restaurant experience. So we, on our core of our business and a restaurant, every restaurant is selling food, we are selling experiences, right? So instead of just, we have clay pot, which is kind of a unique concept, but now this time, first time in, I think, North America, we are implementing something called immersive restaurant experience technology that incorporates your environment, your aroma, your all of your surrounding, even the sound, to match with the kind of recipe and the cuisine we serve. So the moment you step into our restaurant, you will actually feel as if you're in some other part of the world, because all of these technologies and tools, they are interconnected with our cuisine.
So it's kind of like stepping into Pakistan a little bit?
Kind of, yes, exactly.
So you get not only the aroma, the taste, you get the feeling, you get the ambiance.
Exactly.
Well, that sounds like quite the experience.
Yep, so we integrated the AI, artificial intelligence, into the display technology, into the recipes and the cooking concepts and practices that we do.
And you expect this to be done when?
We are launching for the Christmas season. Yep.
Great. Oh, that sounds great. I really appreciate it. Thank you very much, Abdul. Very much.
Thank you.
For more information and answers to your questions, contact Clay Handi Restaurant by going to clayhandi.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was provided by Clay Handi Restaurant. And you can join me weekday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. with Buffalo's classic oldies from the 60s and 70s on The Big Wack.